Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rotoworld Football Show, Monday, December 15th, Christmas Day, 10 days away. New Year's Day, 17 days away. Kyle Dvorak, 1 day away. He's stranded at the airport, so he's not here to talk waivers with you today. We're instead joined by someone you may know, Craig Dennis Carter,
Hello.
Mr. Denny. First time we've ever podcasted together.
It is. It's the first time since last night.
First time since we did 5 games on our Sunday recap pod 4 hours ago. We're actually doing this in the middle of the night. We want to get out ahead of the waivers questions. Now, fantasy semifinals. Hopefully you're still alive. We know you've got burning questions. We've got a lot rolling in already. We're going to get to as many as we possibly can over this next 55, 60 minutes. A lot of good stuff this week. Not a lot of good players on the waiver wire. Denny Carter. I know waivers are Kyle's thing. Kyle's article, by the way, will still be on the website. So that's not going away this week. The young man just stranded in Orlando, Florida. Don't put it in the paper. He was in Disney World. He was in Las Vegas, actually. But who, in your opinion, Denny, is the waiver wire ad of the week heading into the fantasy semifinals?
Of course, it depends on injuries and, being Monday afternoon, we don't know much about injuries for week 16, but Jawar Jordan would seem to be up there as far as waiver ads. He functioned as the clear RB1 for Houston after Woody Marks went down. I mean, does Woody Marks ever not go down?
I know.
That's the question about Woody Marks. My goodness.
Have they changed that thing to a touchdown yet, by the way?
That guy, I don't like to see it. Don't get me wrong, but wow. I feel like Woody Marks is being miscast as a between the tackles runner. I don't think he's that guy. But Jawar Jordan, would seem to be a good ad. 15 carries, 101 yards. Ogunbowale, of course, the most important player in Texas franchise history, had 5 rushes. He also ran 14 routes to only 8 routes for Jordan. So just know that, it's not 100% his backfield, but a good ad for sure. And then I just want to mention Michael Carter, who, again, like Jordan, function same game as the clear RB1 for Arizona after Bam Knight went down with an injury. Bam Knight, we did get an update on that. It is apparently a serious ankle injury. I doubt that he plays this week. Michael Carter ran 33 routes on 46 Jacoby Brissett dropbacks, those sweet Jacoby dropbacks against Houston. He caught all 4 of his targets for 38 yards. He got an inside the 10 carry. He led backfield in carries. Amari DiMercado only ran 5 routes. He did see 3 targets on 5 routes, which is something. So DiMercado would be annoying, but I think Michael Carter would be the guy.
By the way, did you know it's Jawar Johnson?
Did I?
No, sorry. Before the show, before the show. Denny and I, we both called him Jawar Johnson. At a certain point, I corrected Denny as Jawar Jordan. I decided to mess with you even more.
Because I actually have it as Johnson in my notes, and I was correcting it on the fly, like in my head, and then you
very successfully corrected on the fly. Just wanted to get in your head before we get in the heads of our viewers and readers who have a lot of questions. This first one, I'm assuming, is on almost everyone's mind. What is the outlook on Rashee Rice and company, Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy? If you have somehow not been eliminated in a league where you have Xavier Worthy, what are we doing with these guys for the final 3 weeks of the NFL season, final 2 weeks of the fantasy season, with the formerly invincible Patrick Mahomes having the unthinkable, a season-ending knee injury, Denny? What does it mean for this Chiefs skill core?
We talked a little bit about it yesterday. I covered the Chiefs Chargers game. I without saying, I'm not trying to say like Minshew's Mahomes. It doesn't matter. But I think that Kelce and Rice will have the same role, which is like the short area, intermediate stuff. And Minshew can do that okay. I wouldn't dismiss either of these guys as startable if they play, I guess, if they play going forward.
I know the Chiefs vibes, wow, quite poor. The Chiefs, in a lot of ways, have almost been like the poor man's Eagles the past years. The vibes have never been great.
No.
They never got to like Eagles levels, even as they were winning Super Bowls, losing Super Bowls. But I do get the feeling we're going to get some players sitting, maybe especially Travis Kelce. Like, Lord only knows what he's been playing through. I will say, like, Gardner Minshew in an Andy Reid offense probably will be like, wow, it's going to be like the classic thing that gets Minshew paid again. Like, oh, man, I forgot how good Gardner Minshew is.
I don't know if that's likely, but I think it's definitely in the range of like what could happen in the next couple weeks. I mean, not saying, look, Minshew's bad, obviously, like that goes without saying, but the system is good, at least for.
Well, is it still good?
At least for moving the ball a little bit. There was a report actually talking about the bad vibes for Kansas City. Tracy Wolfson on the sideline yesterday had a report in the fourth quarter where she said she had the following phrase in there: "This team is all out of answers."
They are, man.
And there were no answers. Like if every week is a test, and you're looking for the answers, they had no answers against the Chargers. Okay, the Chargers.
They really were. We've talked about several times in different variations of the show. This team needs some sort of a shakeup. They need an outside voice of some kind. Andy Reid, maybe he'll retire. I kind of doubt he'll retire on such a sour note. Matt Nagy, whatever. He's a very easy scapegoat, very easy guy to blame. I'm sure it's not all his fault. I feel like they need an outside. By the way, is Rashee Rice? I shouldn't throw this bomb out there. We have a lot of questions. Is he even good? Is this guy even good?
He's not good. No,
wow.
I mean, it's very clear. He's good for what they need from him. But you put Rashee Rice on like the Panthers, and he's whatever. Like he's totally forgettable.
It's interesting. Staying with this game that you watched, and Omarion Hampton, a lot of work. Still a lot of work for Kamani Vidal, though. Back-to-back weeks for Kamani not going away. And it's not as bad as it seems, I would say, for Omarion Hampton, because this is really a response to the Chargers not having Joe Alt, having all kinds of offensive line issues, to the quarterback having a broken finger. Makes a lot of sense for the Chargers to be run heavy right now. So Omarion Hampton's still getting work. He's still sharing so much of it, though, with Kamani Vidal. Do we trust him as like a set and forget RB2 for the fantasy semifinals, or should he be treated more as a somewhat volatile flex option, Omarion Hampton?
I think a flex. I mean, okay, so I see online today, folks are really obsessing about the snap share split between Vidal and Hampton. I don't really care so much about that as much as I do that Hampton led the team in rushing attempts and split the targets out of the backfield. Although Vidal was running the routes, but unless you're getting a point per route, you don't care about that.
Don't worry, they're going to try to ruin fantasy sports with that soon.
I actually would be in favor of it.
Where's Kyle? Kyle, where are you at? Not even Kyle would say that.
And Kyle's at an airport paying $11 for a bottle of water.
The Orlando airport is not particularly pleasant.
Doesn't it have like a tram?
There is a train. That part's fun.
Yeah,
that part's fun. I'll give it that.
I haven't been there since 1994, so it's been a while.
I've been there 4 times in the past 6 months.
People think you're kidding. By the way,
we're talking about
Hampton. Okay. So think of the Chargers this way: pass catchers dead for fantasy. Running backs are live. Although they play the Cowboys this week.
I know. Unfortunately, Ladd McConkey has to be in fantasy lineups for the fantasy semifinals. It's scary, but the Cowboys too. Their season basically ended yesterday. Ladd, there's just the depth is just decimated at every position right now. There's so many people in like the RB 24 to 36 range that feel like they shouldn't be there. Same with the wide receiver, like 20 to 36 range. It feels like they shouldn't be there. You're going to have to play Ladd McConkey because everyone has question marks. And so you're trying to find positives at Dow or versus Dow. This is a huge positive for Ladd McConkey.
It is.
Sorry, we've gotten too far afield here, Denny.
No. This is good because it's a discussion of the whole Chargers situation, okay? We have an ultra, I'll be Kyle for a second, ultra giga nuclear run heavy attack here by the Chargers, okay? Like so many tight ends and so many offensive linemen. They're going to keep doing that. That strips the pass catchers of pass volume. It puts both Vidal and Hampton in the flex discussion.
For sure.
I wanted to mention Trey Harris, who operated as a full-time wide receiver for LA with Quentin Johnson out this week. Trey Harris, of course, gets Dallas. Was targeted on over 20% of his routes against Kansas City. I mean, like if you're feeling like a second flex and you're looking for some upside next week, I feel like you could do worse than Trey Harris.
Best ball bros never wrong, only early
Only
on Trey
early.
Harris. Everyone's kind of late on Blake Corum. That's nice. Some people never quite gave up on Blake Corum, but non-entity rookie season after a final year in Michigan where he was a beneficiary of the offense. He was not explosive. He was dunking at the goal line. That's a skill, I guess, but guy who just didn't appear over the very serious knee injury he had suffered. Different story this year. It's become almost 50-50 with Kyron Williams. Corum has become the kind of guy where people are trying to find reasons, like they got him off waivers. They're trying to find reasons to play him. I don't know if I would still do that, but Davante Adams out almost certainly for Thursday night against the Seahawks. I think the biggest fantasy effect of that is not going to be like trickling down targets. It's such a rotation right now for the Rams pass catchers, but his lost goal line opportunities maybe could be putting Blake Corum over the edge into viable flex status. What do you say about starting Blake Corum in the fantasy semifinals?
I think that is really good analysis, and it's exactly what I was going to say. And I thought my take was going to be unique and very thoughtful, and then Pat goes ahead and says, I worked on it for 2 years, and he just posted it.
I did just post it.
Yeah, this Rams offense is going to be run heavy, at least for the time being. I mean, the Davante Adams injury looked real bad. I mean, I've seen a few hamstring injuries, and that one looks like hopefully he'll be back for the Super Bowl sort of thing.
The one thing I could maybe add, he did already have a hamstring injury. He's also a veteran. He's had many hamstring issues. Maybe he knew, like, the second he felt anything, like, just stop running.
Just go down.
Yeah, just go down. That's the charitable interpretation. Again, that's charitable. That might not be realistic.
Yeah. So Corum is definitely in play in 12-team leagues. I mean, like, I don't want to say you have to start him because you might have a really good running back situation on your team, but he's a really good play. Don't try to do the 1-for-1 thing with Adams. Don't be like, oh, Whittington's gonna get the no. Nobody gets the Davante Adams role. It's more Puka. It's probably a little more Parkinson, who's been really good and gets a good matchup against Seattle next week. Seattle on Thursday, I should say. But Seattle has given up a lot of production to tight ends, a lot of targets. So don't try to do that. But yes, Corum becomes even more interesting with the Adams injury.
I would say heading into this week, Corum was a nice to have, like on your bench, where you didn't really want to be playing him, but it was nice to have him in case you needed him. This week, he really is more into, you should at least give him some consideration in your starting lineup. Like, you need to at least examine the situation. Definitely an improved situation for Blake Corum. You mentioned Colby Parkinson. He will be bandied about as one of the potential winners of Davante Adams sitting out. I have another kind of like galaxy brain's a bit strong. I almost wonder if Adams being out will be bad for Colby Parkinson, because I kind of think a lot of the touchdowns Colby Parkinson has been scoring has been because of how much attention Davante Adams is commanding at the goal line. Mm-hmm. And so now with Davante out, defenses will actually be more free to account for Colby Parkinson. But is this too galaxy brain? And do you consider Colby Parkinson like getting close to top 12 status at tight end?
Okay, here's a thing with the Rams offense against Detroit. So the Rams are at the forefront of this 3 tight end set revolution that's going on, like quietly.
5 tight ends actually now.
I mean, they're using every week. They use one more tight end. By the playoffs, it'll be an 11 tight end offense.
Matthew Stafford will be lining up at tight end.
Andy Reid might want to look into that.
He should.
It is. It's not 1999.
Remember Noah Gray?
So here we go. Okay. Terrence Ferguson, the rookie tight end, led the Rams with 29 routes against the Lions. Colby Parkinson was second on the team with 26 routes. Puka also had 26. And then you go down to Davis Allen, also ran 17 routes, saw 4 targets, caught 3. So maybe even Terrence Ferguson becomes kind of weirdly okay. Okay, don't get crazy, but like Parkinson is the number 1 tight end option, I think, for fantasy. But what's his name? Terrence Ferguson.
Terry Ferguson. I call him Terry.
Terry. Yeah. He becomes, in tight end. What is it called? The tight end when you get
tight end premium. It's the worst format of fantasy.
It's actually horrible, and it's the worst format of fantasy. Total farce of a format. But if you are for some reason playing that, He, actually has some interest here. I do think that it's hard to overstate how run heavy the Rams are going to be, though.
I completely agree. It's not like the Seahawks have a bad run defense, but it's easier to get them on the ground than through the air, I think. Hopefully I'm right about that. Laplandish is considering keeping a lock to Rotoworld Lap. We'll get to your question a bit later. We have a question here from John Spencer. What the heck are we doing with DJ Moore? He'll be deciding between him, Tony Pollard, and Parker Washington for semifinals next week. We have a question about Tony Pollard we'll get to in a little bit, Denny. First, this is isolated to DJ Moore, though. I mean, what do you even do with that? Just treat it as an outlier, an aberration. What was it, 4 for 66, 2 touchdowns? No one in this Bears offense ever catches more than 4 or 5 passes. Do you even react to that game from DJ Moore?
I don't. Look, this guy is being targeted on like 16% of his routes over the past couple months now. That's really low. Like, he's just not a priority for Ben Johnson, for Caleb Williams. The fact that he caught 2 touchdowns, I know that's frustrating, and I know you're looking at those points in your bench and you're thinking, "Oh my God, what have I done?" Or if you're going into week 16, if you had a bye in week 15, you're like, "Well, now I gotta play him. He's forced me to play him." It really don't. I don't think you should feel forced to play DJ Moore next week. This Bears offense has reached like run heavy levels that makes it really iffy to play any of the pass catchers right now.
Who would have ever predicted that the guy to finally bring back Ditka ball to the Bears would be Ben Johnson? Ben Johnson, the guy, he's a genius. You hate to say it, he's a genius. He is who Josh McDaniels thought Josh McDaniels was. Ben Johnson is the Josh McDaniels who was promised. Denny, is this too strong of a take?
No. I think. I mean, he's Josh McDaniels with dog levels. I think
he's Josh McDaniels. I've made this comparison before too. He's Josh McDaniels that you actually are kind of scared of, because Josh McDaniels tried to be the tough guy.
No,
and that just made it a million times worse. Every player like, what? Like, don't dog. I used to use the phrase dog cuss. Like, sorry, dude. Like, you can't. You're not a dog cusser. Like, I'm not scared of you. Whereas Ben Johnson, something seems a little wrong with this guy.
Yeah, right. You're a little afraid of him. Yes. Someone in the chat mentioned that both Luther Burden and Rome Odunze are injured going into this week. Now, I know Burden left the game, I think an ankle. Odunze was not even a late scratch. He was he hurt himself in warmups.
Speaking of Ben Johnson, I think a bit of a gamesmanship
really?
there, to be honest. Yeah, I do.
Wait. What is the game? What is the game?
I kind of doubt he was ever going to play, and that they feigned a pregame aggravation is kind of my suspicion.
Against the Browns? Come on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're going up against the forces of Shador Anon.
There's new Shador Anon content. Have you seen this?
No.
Stefanski, according to Shador Anon, intentionally gave Shador the wrong wristband with the play.
I did see this. Yeah. Very compelling, actually.
So Shador Anon, they are humming on this.
They are humming. I saw some aggregator accounts pouring gasoline onto that fire. Yeah. So I think we're going to play Tony Pollard over DJ Moore for a lot of the reasons you just laid out. But what do we do with Tony Pollard? Stuntman Chuck here every week. Hello, Chuck. Can we start him? He's going goblin mode. Next week, he's playing the Chiefs. Massive game 2 weeks ago. I think I saw yesterday he had the highest rushing success rate in the NFL.
Yes.
Yes. Tony Pollard back in fantasy semifinal lineups after a long time of not wanting to play Tony Pollard.
Who is stopping this consolation bracket all-star? Nobody.
Absolutely no
14 carries for 104 yards for Pollard. I'm actually just hearing of this right now. And a touchdown against the Niners. Tajay Spears only had 3 carries for 34 yards. Not bad, by the way. 11.3 yards per carry for Tajay Spears. No one's talking about that. But yeah, I guess Pollard. I mean, I guess they have committed to Pollard as the RB1. It only took them 3 months, but we got there.
Their offense is looking a little bit better. Like, Cam Ward is looking a little bit better. Emphasis on a little bit. Or the Titans have finally upgraded to normal bad, meaning they're mixing in some positive plays, actually. They had a 6 or 7 week stretch where nothing positive was happening, unless it was like a big punt return or kick return by Kamir DK. things now are occasionally happening on offense for the Titans is kind of what you could say.
You know what I'm seeing here, looking at the Titans numbers from week 15 against San Francisco, I'm seeing my guy, Gunnar Helm, went goblin mode, 4 catches on 4 targets for 49 yards and a touchdown.
Yes.
He did all that on 10 routes.
He's been goblining kind of low key, quote unquote, for a
If
few
we
weeks.
if we can get this guy to like 80% routes, he's Gronk. Just one.
Wow. I have Gunnar Helm in my Dynasty League, 53rd overall pick. I looked it up last night while we were podcasting.
That's good. I'm
hoping that's the thing. Chuck, one more. Speaking of consolation brackets, Denny Carter, Brian Thomas Jr. is running roughshod through them back-to-back weeks with the touchdown. We're getting like Christian Watson mode from Brian Thomas Jr. It's 3 or 4 catches. One of them is usually deep. You hope one of them is a touchdown. The schedule, listen, not trying to take anything away from the Jags. The schedule, where it's all come together against the softest slate of opponents you could basically have. That's good that they're playing well against them. Big time measuring stick game this week in Denver against the Broncos. We're going to find out like how much of this progress has been real for the Jaguars. Can you get Brian Thomas Jr. in semifinal or consolation semifinal lineups against one of the best pass defenses in the NFL, the Broncos?
I mean, I think so. It's basically it's Jacoby Myers, it's Thomas, and it's Brenton Strange. I know that the running backs were super involved against the Jets. I don't think you can bank on that week in and week out. Thomas is way more high variance than we ever would have thought or ever wanted, really. As of, I don't have the current numbers, unfortunately, but going into week 15, he had averaged 22 air yards per target over the past 2 games. Wow. When those hit, it's cool and you feel really smart. When they don't, you feel like a fool. But I do think that you can start him in 12-team leagues.
With Brian Thomas, I said this either on our show or I went on Chris Harris's podcast this morning. Check it out. Nice. With Brian Thomas is just one of those players, like be realistic about what you have. You drafted a wide receiver 1. Obviously not what you have. You do still have a usable player, it looks like. It looks like, speaking of Christian Watson, a Christian Watson style wide receiver 3, where not as many targets as you were hoping, but they are downfield, which can be very high value in fantasy football. There's a risk of a 0, but he's a useful fantasy player, but he's not what you thought you were getting. What you thought you were getting a wide receiver 1.
Not
you got
yet,
a role
anyway.
player. Yeah, not yet. I mean, it could change. Yeah, Jacoby Myers. I've already made this point on the show. I think like Jacoby Myers yesterday. I was like, if I asked someone who didn't see the game, like, what do you think Jacoby Myers' stat line was? They go, I don't know, 5 catches for 71 yards. But yes, that's what he does every single game. 5 catches for 71 yards. It's very useful, but he never does more. Real quick, I'm going to answer this one really quick for Mr. Laplandish. She's been planning to start Dak against the Chargers next week. Chargers defense looking really good. He's wondering if you should start Herbert over him. The answer is no. You're just not going to get.
I don't think so.
Very similar floors, but just way more easily attainable ceiling for Dak than for Justin Herbert. The Chargers just don't even want to be doing that right now. Like, not just the offensive line issues. I mean, again, Justin Herbert, they want to get that finger healed up as much as they can before the playoffs. So do not bench Dak, I would say. He's the classic, he got you here. There's no real reason to bench him, so do not bench him. Trust Dak Prescott over Justin Herbert. Chad here almost every week. The ultimate down bad. Who do I start? A Raiders QB versus the Texans. Well, this must be super flex, hopefully, Chad. Phil Rivers versus the 49ers. Brady Cook versus the Saints. Oh, my Lord.
Good.
Romeo Dobbs versus the Bears. Maybe Dobbs.
Can you get Minshew?
Yeah, maybe Minshew. I would say from that group, Phil, even though the Rivers thing, that had the feel of a nice 1-week story. That wasn't even that nice. And now that teams can see that he cannot move, game plans are going to be – I'm sure the game plan was already kind of based around like, listen, this guy can't move. Now that they've seen he cannot move, cannot throw deep, it's going to get ugly fast, I think.
The Seahawks actually were laying off for the first quarters.
It was like genuinely like what we saw with Tua. There was a few times where he could have gotten blown up, and they kind of like respectfully sacked him or like took him down.
Yeah,
they were not trying to hurt him.
I do mean that, but also they were not blitzing. No. They were not being aggressive in pursuing Rivers, and it actually created a lot of really good like dump off opportunities for him. And that's now that now that it's on film, like he cannot throw the ball more than 20 yards in the air, and I don't mean that sarcastically. Like he can't.
No.
So I think the teams are just going to start sending the house and being like, "Good luck, Phil." Yeah.
The only thing that can maybe change now, I'm about to compare myself to an NFL player. I was always reasonably good at throwing the football. And for a few years, though, I just couldn't. Like my shoulder I was like, man, this really hurts. This is really sore. Like, not really sure when I injured this, but I injured it at some point. At some point, though, I think I like knocked loose some scar tissue or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I can throw reasonably well again. And maybe Phil knocked loose some scar tissue this week, but that's your one hope for Phillip Rivers.
I wouldn't bank on it. I actually think Brady Cook is the play here.
Cook, listen,
let Cook cook.
Let Cook cook. The only problem for Cook was way more prepared than I was expecting, playing way faster than I expected against the Jaguars. Like I did not expect to see him processing that quickly, operating that quickly. The problem is down 21-7 early in the second quarter, trailing the whole game by 2 or 3 scores. And like he was prepared, but no rookie is prepared to be in obvious passing situations for 3 quarters. And that's where Cook really got into trouble. Like obviously he just hasn't seen most of these looks. He's in such a disadvantaged situation. Like I was surprised by how competent he looked, but it's going to be hard for him to make any kind of an impact, like positively in real life or in Superflex, just because he's in the worst situation a young quarterback can be in, playing from behind. Analytically minded here, as his fantasy football championship, he needs Jamar Chase for the last dance. What are the odds the Bengals shut down Joe and Chase for the rest of the year? Pretty low, Denny, but talk about like a dark night of the soul team. The Bengals, it's getting dark like every one of their press conferences. Some reporter like asked Joe Burrow, he thought he was good yesterday. Did you see that? That was really weird.
I didn't see that. No.
Very, very weird, actually. And Joe was like, yes. And vibes bad. Teams, though, in general, do not shut down players who are not hurt. And neither one of these guys are hurt right now. I think they'll be out there for at least the next 2 weeks.
They want their stats.
Yeah. Like we don't even mean that pejoratively. Like Burrow and Chase both like their stats. And that's good. You should like your stats.
Yeah, it makes no sense that the Bengals would bring back Burrow on the outside chance that they could run the table and get some luck, with the Ravens and Steelers maybe losing. But and then to sit him now, it would make no sense. But this is a nonsensical organization. So
it is, and changes might finally be afoot in Cincinnati, even though changes are never afoot in Cincinnati. We'll just see though. PBD OTC here every week. Did you answer this earlier? DeMarcado or Michael Carter as an RB with Bam Knight presumably out for week 16.
Again, if you are able to get hired by the Arizona Cardinals and get in their locker room for the coming days, you will have better insight into how they might use the running backs in week 16. Other than that, all we can divine is what happened last week. Which is on week 15, which is that Michael Carter ran almost all the routes, got a lot of the carries. DeMarcado was a clear RB2 option, and that could change. It has changed. This Cardinals backfield is really very difficult to figure out. And even if you get it right, it might not matter because this team never runs the ball. So there's no, when you get a certain backfield right, and the team is a run heavy team, you hit it and you win, right? But this, it's like, why even concern yourself too much? I would go with Carter, but DeMarcado could easily see 10 touches next week.
Completely agree. You have to default to Carter, and you have to have in the back of your mind it could be DeMarcado. This one, Laplandishalo here every week. A bit of a tough one because both George Kittle and Kyle Pitts are must starts. Would you consider ranking Kyle Pitts ahead of George Kittle? I don't think I would, because Kittle's floor is not much lower, and still, I was going to say his ceiling's much higher, even though Kyle Pitts has had one of the greatest tight end performances of all time.
Yeah.
I'm going Kittle, though. What are you doing?
I do like that Laplandish said Pitts is in his goblin era.
Yes. Lots of guys in their goblin
otherwise
era.
Known as get paid era.
Yep, that's right. That is true. That's
He's about to become
the
highest paid tight end in history.
He will. He looked different, by the way. Did you notice that?
it's time to make money.
It was the first time he ever looked dangerous with the ball in his hands. Like he actually went side to side a few times.
Well, he has been better with that this season. I think it took 2 years for him to recover from that knee injury.
It did, which was kind of crazy.
And so Kirk Cousins took 2 years for him to get over the Achilles, which makes sense at his advanced age and whatnot. But Cousins said, "Look, Kyle, I'm going to get you paid." And I honestly think, I know that's a narrative-based thing, and we don't do that, but I feel like Kyle Pitts is just going to be fed relentlessly in the coming weeks. I'm having a tough time with this one.
It's not crazy. I can say I prefer Kittle. If someone prefers Pitts, it's very defensible opinion for all the reasons you just laid out. That's what I would say.
Do you? There's no way for me to figure this out. Do you know who the Falcons play next week?
49ers play the Colts, Denny. The Falcons. Oh my God, the Falcons are playing the Cardinals.
Oh, it's Pitts. I think it's Pitts.
Yeah, it's not a crazy opinion. I can say that. Mr. C. Kims, thanks for getting me into the playoffs. You're welcome.
Oh, okay.
For his flex, who should he trust this week? Mike Evans, Tirico, Blake Corum, Jaden Reed, or BTJ? I would probably isolate it to Evans and Tirico, Denny. Despite Ted is never quite giving us what we want. Honestly, I would probably not overthink this one and just go Mike Evans. Just exactly as always. Like he comes back, he's the ultimate. Like Mike Evans has no beginning or end. He just comes back and he does the same thing he's done for 20 years. Yep. And I would probably start Mike Evans.
Instantly, 65% air yard share, 25% target share.
So Mike Evans is what we would say, Mr. Kims. Yep. A lot of good options there, unfortunately. So that is a bit of a tough decision.
Yeah.
I would limit it to Evans, T-Mac, and Corum. I would not include Reed or BTJ. I would put BTJ ahead of Reed. Did you already answer this one, Denny? Will Colston Loveland get a boost against Green Bay this week with all the Bears banged up?
Yeah.
I think Burden will be out there. Doomsday much more uncertain.
Loveland,
although Burden, by the way, anytime he got banged up in Mizzou, he missed time. So I don't know.
Right. I did see something interesting in the route data, just real quick, if you can bear with me here. Loveland yesterday against the Browns, 21 routes. Cole Kmet ran 15 routes. Loveland targeted 5 times, caught 4 for 63. I would say, Loveland would be not a smash, but like a guy you want to try to play if Burden's out.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. And Burden, I said he got hurt a lot at Mizzou. I know I'm always basing everything. Mizzou-based analysis is what every fantasy football player wants.
We love it.
He actually did play hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Was never totally effective when doing so. So keep it locked to Rotoworld.
Oh, actually, you know what? It would be Zacchaeus season, wouldn't it?
Denny, we're vomiting and sobbing. Denny, you informing our viewers it's Zacchaeus season.
As solemnly as we can say it.
Yeah, that's right. PB33, by the way, said he just put a $160 in his consolation.
Oh man. No one is stopping your
I saw something even funnier yesterday. A league where I have one of the 2 buys, and it's a league with low scoring. Like 120 is a really good week in this league. And the number 1 seed had like 190 points yesterday. So basically guaranteeing he's going to get eliminated next week. The most wasted, inefficient allocation of points I've ever seen. Jesse had too much Adonai Mitchell last week. He got burned in 4 leagues, in week 14. He benched him yesterday and got burned again. He scored a touchdown. Adonai Mitchell to Brady Cook connection. Ever heard of it? Is he going back to the well this week, or is it time to admit he has a problem? The New York Football Jets, Denny, are facing the New Orleans Saints. Adonai Mitchell still getting fed targets no matter who the quarterback is. What is his outlook for week 16?
I think you play him. Led the team in routes, 8 targets, 6 catches, 58 yards and a touchdown. I don't quite have the air yards data here, but I would bet that Mitchell dominated air yards. That's just my guess. Also, we talked about him last night on the wrap up show, Pat, but Isaiah Williams becomes interesting.
I might keep hitting you with the timeout on that one.
Really?
Yeah, this is special. I mean, it's Turpin season. That's what I'm going with on that one.
Well, no, that doesn't make sense to me because he was second in routes.
He was, but who cares? Like they're just seeing like what he can do.
Look, if he ran, so he had 7 targets. So he was targeted on he was targeted on 33% of his routes, right? And if that were the case and he ran 10 routes, I'd be like, so what? But like he's above Mechie, he's above Lazard. Come on.
Lazard, by the way, was the intended target on the end zone interception that Brady cooked through. Not the best. Stevie Janowski, friend of the show. Denny, you actually know him. It's a pseudonym. I can't tell you who it is right now. He's great to see you, though. He says he's wondering, does he have brain fog or is Colby Parkinson terrible in Seattle? Would you start Colby Parkinson over Jake Ferguson this week? Fergie tends to not produce when CeeDee Lamb is healthy. What do you say about Parkinson? Let's try to draw the Colby Parkinson line. Do you start Colby Parkinson over Jake Ferguson?
Yeah, easily. Wait, what? Terrible on Seattle? You mean like against Seattle, or
no? He was on Seattle.
Oh, when he
Parkinson
played
was on Seattle.
No, he wasn't terrible. Every time they gave him a chance, he was good.
I do kind of remember that.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like, oh, this guy, he ran most of the routes at tight end, and he instantly becomes fantasy viable. I mean, yeah, I kind of earmarked Parkinson when he signed with the Rams. So like, oh, he's on a team that actually will know how to use him.
Parkinson will be probably in that tight end 10 to 14 range, depending on the rankings you look at this week. So the resistance was already breaking down. I will say, sometimes, you find one piece of analysis and you cling to it. I know this is out. I really think Colby Parkinson's touchdowns were a product of Devontae Adams. Someone can maybe flesh this out and try to make it make sense. When you get a guy who's getting bracketed at the goal line, someone else is going to be open. And I think with like Devontae getting like the full resources of the opposing defenses thrown at him, like Parkinson was just getting singled up a lot, or maybe even not even accounted for. And I get the feeling that the Parkinson touchdown gravy train might run into trouble without Devontae Adams.
Absolutely, yes. Parkinson's running red hot on touchdowns. That goes without saying. I still think he can be a thing in 12-team leagues without the touchdowns, though.
No, that's true. For sure. He's catching in a nice catch floor. Yeah, it's not just the touchdowns is an important point with Colby.
Yeah, this is not a Darren Waller situation.
Yeah, that is like a good point.
Really good point. I mean, I'm looking at 5 catches yesterday against Detroit, 75 yards. Forget the touchdowns just for a moment. The week before, 3 for 32, 4 for 27, 4 for 41. I mean, it's not fantastic, but like you don't have to have the touchdown.
We've got a lot of good questions. I'm trying to figure out which one to answer here. Dennis one seems, where did it go? People wanted to give up on Steph Diggs. I kind of forgot he was playing through a finger injury. Been catching like 3 balls 3 or 4 weeks in a row. Steph Diggs, trustable, ? For the fantasy semifinals as the New England Patriots play the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, no, he's not. We on Thursday's show with Kyle, we talked about if you buy into the narrative that Steph Diggs signed with New England specifically to get back at his boys, then I guess you play him. But his playing time is such that he was a thin play. Like it was a very thin flex option, and then he goes on to run 16 routes on 29 dropbacks. He only sees 3 targets. Like he barely is part of this offense right now. Mac Hollins is ahead of him in almost every category.
Are you intimidated by how high T Mac Hollins is, by the way?
I actually am a little.
He's the kind of person who, if you're in the room with him, I feel like you probably feel like a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, a little. I'm uncomfortable just seeing him on my computer. I'm like,
he's on a different wavelength. Jesse here wondering, is 9 season back on a 9? JJ McCarthy still can't complete any passes to the one player the opposing defense actually covers, Justin Jefferson, but by far the best start of his young career. Definite signs of progress the past 2 weeks. Undeniable signs of progress, we should say, the past 2 weeks. Getting enough rushing usage where you cannot dismiss him out of hand as a super flex guy. You maybe even have to admit that he could be in the streamer conversation. Giants defense just fired its defensive coordinator who they're facing for week 16. Where are we currently at on the JJ McCarthy discourse?
Look, he wrecked the Commanders. He wrecked the Cowboys, and he's probably going to wreck the Giants. Like he got to play like an abominable division three weeks in a row, and he's going to benefit. Yeah, I think that he's in the streaming quarterback discussion. He's in the must play in Superflex. It looks to me like they said a couple weeks ago, they said, look, we're not going to fix you this season. So just go out and play how you want to play, and we'll see how it goes.
That's a really good take. That's a really good opinion.
Because he looks terrible.
He's still like the guy never practiced football.
Like you said it well a few weeks ago. He looks like a video game that's glitching constantly.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really awful mechanically, right? It's working right now. I think you can get away with that against teams that don't want to be around anymore, and the Commanders definitely don't want to. And the Cowboys look like they actually might walk off the field.
I know,
and just leave.
The Cowboys thing too, like they went from being like almost like the proverbial like you don't want to play the Cowboys down the stretch,
and it turns out you do.
Yeah, it turns out you very much do. And man, just that has gone totally sideways. People wondering about 9. What about Bo Nix? Has he entered sicko mode territory? Is an auto start against the Jaguars. Jaguars defense. The Jags totally eliminate the run. They're pretty good against the pass too. Actually, a pretty solid defense. How do you feel about trusting Bo Nix, who just faced an even better defense in the Packers and have 4 touchdowns? It must be said.
Yeah, for better or worse, you have to start Bo Nix this coming week. I mean, don't get Q and like play him over Burrow or something. But
that's interesting. Joe Burrow last time scored 0 points this week.
I know. Did he? Wait, how many did he score?
Well, they got shut out. That's what I'm saying. Like,
the Bengals. Yeah,
they got shut
out. I'm sorry. Yeah. So the Jaguars, as I write every week in my Friday column, are the most extreme pass funnel in the league.
They're a pass funnel, but they're not bad against the pass.
They're not bad against. Yeah, right. Exactly. Teams are I don't think teams are leaning toward the pass. It's more than a lean, but they're not going pass heavy against Jacksonville because they think they can roast them through the air.
Yeah.
They're doing it because that rush defense is really just snuffing out every run game.
For sure. Yes, that is the case.
I don't think Denver has the sort of personnel to get away with a balanced offense here in this matchup. I think I see Nix dropping back a whole bunch. Now, does that like instantly equal a great fantasy line for him? No, of course not. In fact, you might be skeptical of it because he on games where they go pass heavy, he tends to struggle. But he will be throwing a lot. He will be, and that also opens up opportunities for him to rush, I think Nix is a good play.
Someone wondering here, Chad. Hello, Chad. Dynasty question. Is Devon Vele setting up to be a premium fixture of the Saints, maybe taking a step forward next year? The problem with Devon Vele is that this is not a joke. It's his second year in the league. 3 days ago, Devon Vele turned 28. So it's just kind of like if he ends up on your dynasty league for that year, like maybe you can be interested in him. Is he someone you should be like considering part of any like even short-term plan in dynasty? The answer is no, is what I would say, Denny. I mean, he's been playing well though. So what do you say?
He ran around on 19 of 40 dropbacks in week 15 against the Panthers. He was targeted at a high rate, 6 targets, caught 5 for 69. He's fine, but I don't think that he's going to be like a centerpiece of what the Saints do going forward.
No. Is Woody Marks, if he's out, I think he could have come back yesterday. Man, did I need this guy to come back? And like he got the touchdown, so I was like, I don't care if he comes back. And then they changed it to not a touchdown. And then I was like tearfully begging Rivers, like, tell me he's back in. And he's like, sorry, he's not. If Woody is out, is Jawar Jordan? He's not going to be an RB2. Can you get him in the lineups as a flex, Denny?
He's not going to be an RB2?
No. Because Chubb might be back.
Oh, I forgot.
They're not going to lean. I mean, whatever. I guess he had 100 yards.
No. If Chubb's back, then they're going to do like a...
I keep forgetting it's the Raiders.
Yeah, right. So,
okay, I don't know. So ignore what I just said. You say something.
I will say something. The Texans are going to be such heavy favorites here. They're going to win so easily against the Raiders that it'll be the Nick Chubb legacy game where they force feed him 30 rushes and he goes for 85 yards and a touchdown. And that's his send off, so be wary of that. I do think that you should pick up Jordan, but like please don't be like, I need my RB2, Jawar Jordan, and go with that plan, okay?
You need Jawar Jordan goblin mode for week 16.
But he did.
He did.
In week 15. By the way, we have
he had to do it to him.
We have an update. If folks have kept it locked to Rotoworld, which they should, you'll see this update. Patrick Mahomes is seeking a second opinion. So we're gonna go through the opinions here before he gives up on this.
Well, yeah, Chad says he's seeking a second opinion that he's hoping will allow him to avoid surgery. If he gets his wish, would you avoid him heading into offseason drafts? I treat Mahomes. There's a potential there. People, sorry if this is too obscure of a reference for you. Novak Djokovic, one of the greatest tennis players of all time. That was not the case the 2 years he was doing anything he possibly could to avoid elbow surgery. And he became awful and like just bad. And he finally got elbow surgery. He immediately went back to being one of the greatest players of all time. Anytime they try to avoid like surgery, that's like a risk, like something like that. Like Mahomes thinks he's found the one weird trick. I don't think I think Mahomes is ultimately desperate enough to win and to heal that he'll probably get surgery, Denny. But I'm not really famous last words. Mahomes, I'm just going to treat like Mahomes in drafts. I think he'll just be out there week 1.
I do too. He'll do whatever it takes. But I don't like this. I don't like this stuff. I mean, you know what this means. He went on ChatGTP and he looked it up.
He did. Or he's on TikTok or Instagram and, one of these autoplay videos. Like, what? The autoplay videos are getting weird.
Yeah. Right. Oh, my God.
5 signs that you think are normal that are actually clinical depression. Like, what? First off, why do you think I'm depressed?
Right. Mahomes came across no one has actually ever torn their ACL video last night.
Thank God. I know. Just get the surgery, Pat. We're playing Harold Fannin ahead of Travis Kelce every week at this point, right, Denny?
God, yes. 14 targets for Fannin in week 15.
Someone just joined the podcast. They're wondering if we saw enough from Lamar Jackson yesterday to treat him like Lamar Jackson. He looked a little faster. How do you feel about Lamar heading into a matchup with the New England Patriots, Denny?
I think the Patriots can push the Ravens in a way that makes Lamar, they might open up some upside for Lamar, which you really haven't seen. Also, Lamar definitely looks different in week 15 than he did even in week 12. I think there has been physical improvement there.
There absolutely has. And it didn't make sense. He was either going to have to start playing better, looking more athletic, or get shut down because it was going to be a sign of something that just wasn't getting better.
Right.
It took a long time, but whatever it was started getting better. Bo Nix versus Jacoby Brissett. You guys, I tried to tell you, you wavered on Jacoby Brissett.
I did.
It doesn't matter. It's the Texans. Like,
oh my God.
I said the only concern is if he gets hurt. He did not get hurt. This week, his reward for staying healthy is the Atlanta Falcons.
Dude, I wavered. I lost my faith.
You did. You lost your nerve.
I found my faith, thankfully, and he's going to throw for 400 yards against the Falcons. So,
any concern that it's the rare team that might not blow them out, and they don't have a running game though. They don't care. They don't care at all.
Wait. Are you suggesting that the Cardinals defense can stop anybody right now?
Yeah, no, that's true. Or that they could establish the run. Like they can't do that either. Yeah.
No. There are every path leads to 48 dropbacks for Jacoby, and we know what that means. That means that we get to cook.
We do. Okay, what should I answer here? Excuse me, my nose is itching.
So yes, I would play Brissett over Nix. Yes,
I would play Brissett over Nix too. I don't know. They're wondering about Anthony Richardson cleared to practice. He's not going to start. Here's the problem with the Phillip Rivers thing. They're too boxed in. If you do something historic, if you get a guy to literally reset his Hall of Fame clock, they're not going to be like, all right, never mind. We're bringing in Anthony Richardson.
Right.
Like they're in such feral desperation mode that I think they're going down with the Rivers ship. Do you agree with that?
I could see, and this is just pure speculation on my part. I don't have sources within the Colts organization. Because Rivers is so physically limited, to a shocking degree, as we talked about a few minutes ago, I could see them rotating Richardson and Rivers to a degree, not every play or whatever, but when the ball needs to go way downfield, it cannot be Rivers. And when they need a short yardage, when they're in a short yardage situation, I could see Richardson coming in.
It honestly, it never works, but someone's making the show about something else, Alaya. It might work for them, though.
It could work for them.
They got to keep defenses off kilter somehow. Yeah, if Richardson is healthy, they absolutely need to have the dreaded package of plays for him. Yeah, I mean,
yep.
Rivers is that limited in game one. I think it's a classic. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse.
Right.
They're going to have to do something to keep the defense on their back foot, not quite so predictable. Yeah, that's actually a really good take. Richardson he's going to have a package of plays. There's no way.
I don't think that they have much of a choice but to use him. I mean, I think they would have used Riley Leonard in some capacity if he were able to.
Well, he practiced in full, supposedly, didn't he? Your guy Riley's just not good, is what it boils down to.
No. Let me be clear. He was never good.
That's true. You actually did never claim he was good.
Never good. But I like my quarterbacks rushing 16 times for 120 yards and a touchdown.
I like that when they're occasionally allowed to throw a pass in the NCAA, though. PBDOC, OTC. Let's say Marvin Harrison Jr., quote unquote, comes back. Are we still saying that means sit Mike Wilson next week, or has this gotten too outrageous where you can't sit Michael Wilson even if Marv finally comes back, Denny?
Look, you will be awash in the splits. Michael Wilson when MSJ's in the lineup, this and that, whatever. It's whatever. Like, they're playing the Falcons. These teams have given up. It's hard to really quantify that, and I understand that, but these teams have given up on the season. That bleeds into defensive performance, I think, more than offensive performance.
For sure.
So let's get Wilson in the lineup. Let's keep going.
People might have a counter take to that. Well, the Falcons didn't look like they gave up in the season last week. To me, that was a divisional game. It was on the road. They had something to live for in that game. We're going to ruin the Bucs season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
The Cardinals, they don't. Where is this game? Is this game in Arizona? Oh my God, this game's in Arizona. The Falcons defense is gonna be drinking in Scottsdale all night in the nicest suburban bar you've ever seen in your life.
Dude, I was wondering why. I was like, why does it matter?
No, it matters a lot. It actually matters a lot. Arizona is kind of a down, an underrated. I feel like players get drunk here location, wow. But Scottsdale, if you have some money, Scottsdale's a great place to go drinking. All
right. Well, hey, we didn't. This is analytics that you don't hear about very often.
You do not hear about the Scottsdale-based analytics. Do we think Devin Neal is out? I don't know how familiar you are with his injury, Denny.
Yeah, it's not good.
And then it's Evan Hall. Who's the guy who played way better than Evan Hall yesterday? The guy.
We're gonna have to look into that.
Audric Estime.
Oh, Estime. Yeah. Estime actually ran a weird number of routes, 15 routes on 40 dropbacks. He saw 3 targets, caught all of them for 39 yards. That's something.
That is something. I thought you were going to say something else.
No. I mean, and let me look at the rushing real quick. So Neal had 7 carries before he left the game. Oh wow, Tyler Shuck had 8 carries for 32 yards. But
Shuck's starting next year. I think Shuck is definitely starting next year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's necessarily a good idea. I'm also not saying it's the worst idea, but I think he is starting next year at this point.
Estimate would seem to be the play. I don't know.
The caveat: mid-game, it's always different.
Yes.
Things change when they have time to make a game plan. But the Saints seem to be. And anyone other than Evan Hall is allowed to touch the ball mode. And Evan Hall is a known non-entity as a commodity. So Audric Estime, definitely one of the more kind of wild card upside ads off the waiver last week. Jesse's wondering, would you trade JSN for a King's ransom in Dynasty this offseason? Surely Sam Darnold can't keep this up. I mean, I don't really see any reason to trade JSN. But
no. It doesn't matter. Darnold doesn't matter. Don't worry about Darnold.
No, it doesn't matter at all. Yeah.
This is the thing. I don't get this about Dynasty. I happened upon a legendary, generational wide receiver who's going to set records, going to go down in history as one of the greatest of all time. And I want to flip him for draft picks.
That's what Dynasty. That's what makes it fun. If you're not going to win, you got to start overthinking everything. I am so angry that I got eliminated.
In what?
In my Dynasty league. I was 8 points from being the 2 seed and having a bye. Got the 3 seed, and the 6 seed had Travis Etienne.
Oh.
And who else? I got totally avalanched by 2 bums. Sorry, Travis. I am like legitimately actually angry about what
I got chainsawed by Trevor Lawrence.
So analytically minded. Thank you very much for the kind words.
Yeah, nice.
Let's see here. Is blah blah blah. Denny, what's the best Christmas movie? Miss Tootsie Pop is wondering. Hello.
I mean, look, yeah, it's probably Scrooged.
You're just saying that because you said you were a bit tipsy the other night and were watching it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Or National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
By far the best movie. One of the only, like, how do you say, is saccharine? Is that how you pronounce it? Saccharine movies that gets away with it. It's a Wonderful Life. Come on. It's not even, there's the It's a Wonderful Life tier, and then there's every other Christmas movie ever made.
It depends on what you're looking for, though.
You're looking for,
I mean,
Christmas. The spirit of Christmas is what you're looking for.
If you're looking for like existential panic, then yeah, you watch that. You know, if you want to laugh at Chevy Chase, you watch National Lampoon's Gremlins. Laplandish throws out Gremlins. We're just saying, you know, it's in the discussion.
Can I say something?
Oh no,
is Home Alone funnier than National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
Well, as a kid, I thought so.
I think it probably Home Alone gets at something very visceral, very guttural. It doesn't matter if you're a kid or adult. Like seeing Daniel Stern smash his feet down on ornaments, like that's like someone getting hit in the face. The paint can is like never not going to be funny. But like I think that's why Home Alone still endures. It's because it's really not just a kid's movie.
My mom saw that movie with me in the theaters, and she comes out of it and she goes, "Man, those crooks, they'll never be the same. Like they'll never be able to recover from that."
The twin blast of The Simpsons and Home Alone had American like parents kind of in a panic. Like, I cannot believe kids talking to adults this way. Bart Simpson and Kevin McAllister are going to ruin this country.
Yeah, truly. I mean, there was a moral panic about Home Alone.
By the way, Chad's wondering, is Isaiah Williams only a play if Cook is the QB? Feels like a Rodgers-Lazard situation, but he has not paid enough attention to know.
He's running routes.
It's like on the practice squad. They play together on the practice squad type situation.
Sure, that helps too. They should just let Brady Cook start. Come on.
They should. I think they actually will too. To be honest.
I do too. I'm telling you, don't sleep in deep leagues. Like, don't sleep on Isaiah Williams. Every time I see this guy, he's coasting into the end zone, and no one is within 25 yards of him.
We're out of time. I'm going to end on one final thing. I'm not even kidding that I was thinking. I just noticed we have the baseball background up in the background. I never changed that. Not even kidding that I was thinking about this in the shower and thinking about how right I was about something.
Yeah,
like signing Tyrod Taylor as a backup quarterback. Like just a genuinely irresponsible, unserious decision. The guy cannot stay on the field. Like more than almost anyone I've ever seen. Like, how was that the plan? Tyrod Taylor being your backup quarterback. You could say, how was Justin Fields being the starter your plan? Also a good question. But I found the Tyrod thing even more excusable.
I mean, I think we've seen over the past 5 years, you gotta have a decent backup.
You do.
You just have to.
You absolutely do. Real quick, Denny, say goodbye to our people as I change our background real quick.
Okay. See you guys later. Join us for, let's see, we're going to do Tuesday show on, I think that's on Twitch. And then Thursday show streams live in several places. And then my Friday Q&A will be at 1:00 this Friday, of course. And I will answer all of your Week 16 semifinal questions.
Denny's telling you where we will be podcasting. I'm telling you where we'll be writing. Kyle's waiver wire, despite his travel difficulties, will be live. The regression files live on Wednesday. Rankings live on Thursday. Later in the week, you got Kyle's stardom situm. Denny's funnel report. There's good stuff all week long. A lot of injury situations will be following on the player news page. So for Denny, I'm Patrick. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.